This is just an article. This is going to be a lot like the our actors that refused or didn't watch their own movies. We haven't read this, so this
Mhm.
is from Looper. Could be good, could be total shit. Either way, we're going to go
Looper's
through it.
pretty creditable. There was a
Looper's
lot
all
of
right.
different. There was a lot
Screen
of
Rant.
different
uh,
sites, but I think Looper was the best one I could pull. Like
yeah,
Movie Web and other things that aren't very creditable at all.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so this first one starts off with a movie that obviously these two were in together: Jim Carrey and Tommy Lee Jones.
I've heard the
Apparently,
stories. Yeah.
apparently in the
Really?
Riddler and Batman Forever, Jim Carrey was a gentleman, and Tommy Lee was threatened by him. Tired of defending overpaid privileged actors, which is weird because I've heard nothing but good things about Jim Carrey. Um, I guess they ran into each other at a restaurant, and they didn't kind of get along quite well. So that's kind of weird.
That
That's
is.
what did you now? Batman Forever was kind of a weird movie in general.
That's an understatement.
Oh
But
God,
yeah,
yeah.
it was a very strange film.
Very strange. I'm gonna skip the Julia Roberts and Nick Nolte because great, great.
I don't think anyone can
Okay.
work with that man.
Yeah,
I don't think Nick Nolte can work with Nick Nolte.
Yeah,
yeah.
he's
Jesus.
alive, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think-
Question mark.
Where the fuck did
Kind
he
of.
go? Oh wait, no, he was in Mandalorian, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
played I Have Spoken. He played that character.
Oh, yeah, that's right,
That's
he
right.
did, yeah.
He was in the Mandalorian. Yeah, he's still alive, barely.
Speaking of Tyrese Gibson, he's on this list here with James Franco in Annapolis, which was a pretty good movie.
I've never seen that.
Yeah.
What's the reason for that? Does it say?
Yeah, it says that James Franco took method acting a bit too far. Things got kind of ugly between him and Tyrese.
Yeah.
They were rehearsing the boxing scenes, and Franco was actually throwing his punches, like not throwing them. Opposite, it was actually like
Not pulling
Actually-
him.
connecting.
not
and
pulling
hitting
punches.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, that
I-
seems to
I
be a
did-
big trigger for people like who method act. It seems to cause a lot of problems on movie sets because they get way too in it. I know
Yeah.
all those stories we had about Jared Leto on Suicide Squad. Everyone who was working with him was like, "What the fuck's wrong with this guy?" But
Yeah.
Method acting has proven to be a
yeah.
problem.
I do, and I actually did see something. I actually saw a video. Actually, within the past few months, I believe there was actually an interview with James Franco talking about this specific thing with him and Tyrese. And I know
James Franco
he's-
kind of turned out to be a piece of shit too, didn't he?
Yeah,
Didn't he?
yeah,
so did
he
Tyrese, but not as
Well,
much,
that was
but-
yeah, that was part of the whole interview was like all the shit that he went through and like him like realizing like wow, I fucked up hard. And him basically coming to terms with that and trying to come to peace with himself and trying to make amends for everything. And that was one of the things he was doing was, I was like, I definitely took it way too far. And it was the movie was I thought it was a great fucking movie.
Mhm.
But
I've never seen
but
it.
but he was talking about that and he felt awful for the way he acted towards the other actors in the movie and the way he did things. And he was basically kind of throwing out an apology to a lot of those people and especially Tyrese. So maybe sometime in the future we'll see something, but I don't think it's going to happen.
All right, so moving on, Will Smith and Janet Hubert, who was the original Aunt Viv.
Yeah,
in
a
Fresh
lot of
Prince
us,
Bel-Air.
They kind of reconciled. Did you guys see the Fresh Prince of Bel Air reunion that they had on HBO Max?
I didn't.
I
That was
did
right
not.
after Uncle Phil died, right? After the actor who played
No,
Uncle Phil
not
died.
right after. It was quite a few
James
years. It
Avery?
actually came out.
Okay.
Yep, it actually came out last year or maybe the year
Okay.
before. It's been a pretty long time actually since he passed. But they reconciled live during that, and they have
Oh,
a
wow.
conversation. And Will Smith kind of admits that like it was his fault, really. He was kind
Yeah.
of full of himself, and he was trying to be funny. And when he realized that she didn't find him funny, and he was saying some kind of racist jokes that didn't fly well with her, that he started trying to push her away from the show. And of course, him being the star, he has that kind of power, and he really took full responsibility. Yeah, I highly recommend anyone who hasn't seen that reunion. If you like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, you got to watch that, especially the conversation between those two. It's really, really telling.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, and then
Definitely.
it's weird, wild too, because Will Smith's gone through his own kind of mental shit. So
Yeah.
that's pretty interesting.
Yep.
So this next one, Shannon Doherty and everybody. I've heard she's
Oh,
super
God.
difficult to work with. That's why they haven't done a Charmed anything like reviving that show Charmed. That was huge
I love
back in the
Charmed.
day.
That was
I
massive.
love Charm so much.
So
Like, I was
never really
never
loved it, but it was always on. My mom always watched it,
Yeah.
so it just kind of became one of those shows that
Took
was
her
just
out. They put
background to it.
Paige in. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
I was never a big. I never got into it, obviously, when it was on. But when if my days off, if I'm sitting at home, obviously this reruns on all the fucking time, and I find myself sitting there watching like, it's actually, pretty good fucking show.
Yeah, and what's his
But
face? Who played
it's like-
Doctor Doom. He was in Nip Tuck. I can't
Yep.
remember his name, but he was really good in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I was shocked. But yeah, no, I mean, I heard stuff. There was stuff going around about her way back in the day from even 90210.
Yeah, I was just about to say that show that she was on. It was 90210. Yeah,
Yeah,
people always
and
had a
people
problem
saying
with
that
her.
she was very difficult to work with.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's that's
stardom affects
Yeah.
everyone differently.
hmm
yeah, that's like I don't know. It's weird when you hear that too, because you're like, I don't know. Moving on. This one's a huge one here. I've known about this one. This one's super interesting. It's Robert Downey Jr. and Terrence Howard, who originally played
Yes.
Rhodey
Yeah.
in the first Iron Man, and I liked him. I liked Terrence Howard.
He was great as Rhodey.
I thought he was great.
Oh my
I
God.
see him be War Machine so
I
bad.
think
but
I think Don Cheadle is much better. I like Don Cheadle as an actor leaps and bounds better than Terrence Howard, but I think
Yep.
he made a good. It's weird because I think I like Don Cheadle better, but for that role, I think Terrence Howard was more kind of commanding. Don Cheadle always just kind of comes across as like in the Iron Man movies, kind of just like a bitch to him, like where I
It's kind
feel
of
like
sidekicky.
sidekicky, yes. Where
Yeah.
Terrence Howard felt more like he was actually kind of better than Robert Downey.
Like you will
Yeah.
respect me.
Like
it's
yeah,
funny,
commanding.
very
Yeah.
similar to the situation. I feel like Don Cheadle was able to be more of a team player than Terrence
Yeah.
Howard would be, and able to work with all these other big actors, kind of like
Yes.
Edward Norton as the Hulk. That was a big
Mm-hmm.
problem with him. His on-screen chemistry with other actors just wasn't
Just
as
wasn't there.
good. You know what I
It would
mean?
be-
So
I
that's
don't
kind of
think-
why they moved on from him. Like
I don't
just-
think it would have been as successful with Terrence Howard being War Machine as it was with Don Cheadle playing off of Tony and then playing I'm trying to think of some of the other characters.
Gwyneth
Cheadle was like that.
Paltrow.
Yeah, like some of the scenes in like Age of Ultron when they're all getting drunk and like that. I just don't see
Yeah.
Terrence Howard being that good.
Right.
They
And
also
he wanted more money than Robert Downey Jr. I remember seeing that, and I'm like, are you
Well,
out
at
of
the
your
time-
fucking mind?
It's funny because at the time he was a bigger star than Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr. was
I'll give
like
him that.
kind of Hollywood's bastard child at that point.
But you
so,
don't get more
I-
fucking money than the star of the movie. It just doesn't fly
No.
well.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, so apparently here they wanted to pay him 1/8 of what they originally had offered him, and they told him because they thought that the series was going to be successful whether they had him or not.
which it
And
was.
which it was, and he said that he tried to get Downey to back him up to not let him do that, and Downey didn't go to bat for him. So then they finally squashed
That
the
makes
differences
me
way
very
later.
interested in what they ended up paying Don Cheadle. Because Don
Yeah.
Cheadle's not this, C-class actor either.
No.
No.
I have
Very
a
much
feeling
A.
they paid him fairly
I mean,
well.
yeah.
And to
I mean,
this
he's-
day, he's coming up in Secret Wars coming out in 2 weeks. He's
Yeah.
still
I mean,
in
he-
the MCU.
And even prior to that, he's had lead roles. So we know. I mean, he's a great fucking actor. I
Oh, he's
love Don
phenomenal.
Cheadle.
He's phenomenal. Don Cheadle's phenomenal.
I mean, was that what was the actual like what caused the rift between him? Is that was the main cause of the rift because
It
he
was
didn't go to
money,
bat
yeah.
for him?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
like
remember
they
seeing an interview with him on the Breakfast Club, and Terrence Howard on the Breakfast Club, and he kind of broke it down, and that's basically what it was. And yeah, he felt like Robert Downey Jr. didn't back him up, but then again, Robert Downey Jr. wasn't really in a place to be backing anything up.
Well, that
He was
that's
on
what
the
I was.
recovery of his
Yeah,
own career. What do you
like
want him to do?
yeah, this was his. This is his comeback role. Like
Yeah, he's not
nobody wanted
focused
to
on what the
work
fuck
with.
you're getting paid.
Nobody wanted Robert Downey Jr. anywhere
Yeah,
until
rightfully.
yeah.
Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so
Oh.
again, moving on, we got Kevin Smith and Bruce Willis on the Star
I've heard
Pop
that
Out.
story before too.
Really?
Bruce Willis
Yeah.
has come off like a prick to a lot of actors. I've heard
Yes.
so many stories about that where he has been a complicated
He's-
man to work with.
He said we're not for Tracy Morgan helping him get through it. This is Kevin Smith who's talking. He says if it wasn't for Tracy Morgan, I might have killed myself or someone in the end else making that movie. He says that Willis turned out to be the most unhappy, most bitter, and meanest emo bitch I've ever met at any job I've ever held. And mind you, I worked at Domino's Pizza.
Wow.
I mean, Bruce
Yeah.
Willis went into autopilot for a very long time. And condolences. I mean, he's not dead, but
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
he's got his health issues going now. We're probably not going to see him in any movies anymore. That really
No.
sucks. But this man was in autopilot for quite some time, where he really didn't care about the roles he was in. The last time I saw him in a role where I feel like he was passionate was that movie Glass, the sequel to Split. It felt like Bruce Willis was having a good time again. But other than
Yeah.
that, even in the Die Hard sequels, it's like he's just there for a check, man. Just pay this man, he's out.
Yeah.
As no surprise to anybody, this next one, Wesley Snipes and Ryan Reynolds, particularly on the set of Blade 3, which I've heard some
a
just
lot about that.
amazing stories from that. Like the scene where
Really?
he's on the table and he wakes up. Wesley Snipes refused to open his eyes during the scene, so if you watch the eyes are CGI.
They're
They had to
CGI
CGI his
because
fucking
he
eyes because he
wouldn't fucking
refused
do
to
it.
open his eyes. He wouldn't read his lines, so like
Yep.
they had to just change them on the fly.
And he was
Um,
super
he was-
fucked up every time.
Yep,
And you
he would
can
just
tell
smoke weed
when you
super
watch that
late.
movie, his eyes are super bloodshot and shit. Like he does look like he's strung out.
Blade 3 is such a weird move. Like, what
It
a
is.
weird franchise, because Blade is amazing. Like, the
Yeah.
first
Yeah.
Blade with Wesley Snipes is amazing.
Blade 2.
And then it just...
Blade 2
Two
was
is actually two was even better.
phenomenal. Yeah, for
And
Blade
then
2
3
the
is
best
like,
one.
what the
That's
fuck are you
Guillermo
guys
del
doing?
Toro right there.
Yeah.
I mean,
The second
I
one.
liked it. I liked Blade 3 mainly because of, well, bringing in the Hannibal fucking characters, fucking Ryan Reynolds. I thought it was fucking awesome.
Mhm.
Apparently...
Again, that's just, I mean, it's nothing compared to the original movie, but just for the sheer factor of fun and so much other shit going on, I loved it.
Well, that's the
They,
movie that really kicked off him being Deadpool. A lot of people saw that movie and they're like, "Hey, you would be a good Deadpool," and that's the film where Ryan Reynolds is like,
Yep.
"Wait a minute, let me look into this character," and then he started campaigning to be Deadpool.
Now it's... Oh, man. So, there's a world where I can see another, like, Wolverine. Somebody else playing Wolverine. I don't know who would ever play Deadpool. Like, I don't know who would ever...
Oh,
That's
my God,
literally
no.
his character. He was born to be that guy.
Yep.
Yeah. Even I think even more so that maybe hot take. I think more so than Robert Downey Jr. playing Iron Man.
Yeah.
Because I
believe
can
so,
picture
100%.
a couple other
It's-
people playing Iron Man where I would
close.
accept
I
it.
can't. I
but
can't.
Close.
Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds, I got fucking nothing
He's
for you.
the one who brought that movie. Every studio was like, "We're not making this," and he was like, "Nope, you got to make this." Like he pushed for that character for
Deadpool.
years.
He is
Yeah.
Deadpool.
Yeah, what a time to be alive for us. Wesley Snipes kept referring to him as the cracker, like that cracker better get out of my eye line. I don't want to see him tell that cracker to get his lines right. Oh man.
Wesley Snipes, he
That's-
was hard to work with, not even just on that movie either. And then he had his
Oh,
tax
yeah,
problems. Phenomenal actor, and I loved seeing him make his little comeback that he had. Like he came back in Coming to America 2, stuff like that. But
Mhm.
yeah, definitely a hard man
yeah.
to work with.
Oh yeah.
All right, moving down the list here. Leo and Mark Wahlberg, which is surprising
That is
because
Really?
Departed.
yeah, Yeah, more. Before
Wow.
The Departed. Before The Departed, they were classmates on a controversial high school crime drama named The Basketball Diaries.
Yeah.
Um, and
Holy
it's
shit! I did not know Mark Wahlberg was in that fucking movie.
yeah,
I'm gonna have to go back and watch it again.
yeah, and I guess they asked him if Mark Wahlberg was Marky Mark at the time,
Yeah.
and Leonardo DiCaprio commented and said, "Over my dead fucking body will he be in this fucking movie?" And yeah, that's it. It's kind of a weird. I think he was just being an asshole, and then they kind of got over it. Obviously, and starred together in Scorsese's The Departed.
Yeah.
I mean, at that time, you gotta figure. I mean, Leo was shit. I mean, that's like early on in his fucking career, and Mark Wahlberg is still fucking Marky Mark. I mean, that's so.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck, man.
Yeah. Jeez.
This one's weird. Ryan Gosling and Rachel McAdams.
What?
Yeah, apparently they beefed
What?
a lot on set.
The Notebook.
Which is you would think they're both kind of sweethearts, and just the two of them not getting along in like one of the, I would dare to say, highest rated love stories of like love movies of all time. Like there was I mean, it's kind of fallen out of the public eye, I guess what you say, but I mean, there was a period where after this movie came out, if anything was referred to as a love story, it was, well, is it as romantic as The Notebook? Like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it was,
I love
that
The
was
Notebook
it.
to this day.
Oh,
I think
it's a great movie.
Oh my
film.
God.
Great film.
I think I waited 5 years to watch it after it came out.
Yeah.
At least. And I was like, I'm not watching that fucking movie. No fucking way. And then I finally like actually watched, like, holy fuck. That
Right.
movie was fucking
Wow.
phenomenal.
Apparently, there was even a scene where he had the director. He came over to the director and said, "Can you bring in another actress to read off camera with me?"
Oh my God.
That's pretty incredible.
Wild. Guys, how many we got? I gotta piss. I can't.
Yeah,
hold
go
it.
ahead.
I really
We
gotta
can take
piss.
it.
I'll be right
Yeah.
back.
You can fucking edit this out.
Oh, we had two more too.
Of course.
That's all right.
That's whatever. Oh, I gotta think of another drink of the week.
Oh no, because this is just getting shoehorned in to another episode because he didn't even do an intro for this one. Even though this is turning, we're at about a half an hour, so this is gonna get put in. We'll probably do an intro and a movie of the week and a drink of the week in one episode because this is gonna be a later episode. So we got plenty of time to backtrack on this one. But you will have to do at some point 2 drinks of the week.
I'm okay with that.
All right, let me write this down. Actually,
I mean, I can even do a fucking rando, but I don't even give a shit.
What
I'm
was
not
the
working.
first-
I'm not even working tomorrow.
what was the first topic we had? We had the Transformers.
That was a Transformers spoiler end scene.
Sorry.
But
I was-
like I said, either way, I'm still. I mean, if we want to fucking throw it in this one, I can fucking do it in this one too. I don't give
Nah,
a shit.
we're good because we didn't do an intro. Like I said, we're gonna add a movie of the week and a drink of the week to top this off,
Okay.
and this is a whole episode because we're already at 30 minutes, right, Josh?
29. Yeah.
Yep. So that's what I was just telling Toke. I was like, we can just, if he just does an intro at a later date and then throws in a movie we throw in a movie of the week on this one, and this is a whole episode.
Yeah.
Maybe we can do Grumpy Old Men on this one and do another drink of the week. All right. So moving on to the one that kind of this one started where we knew this one's been probably one of the biggest public feuds is Dwayne Johnson and Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, yeah, there was a huge. I remember there was a huge thing about like. So apparently, Diesel would show up late on a regular basis,
Yeah.
which is
He
weird
even
because
did
like it's
that
his movies.
After that, the movies with Dwayne the Rock Johnson, even one of the most, I believe it was Fast 9. The director was complaining that he was showing up late. He was showing up overweight. I remember those pictures were coming out.
Yep.
And he just wasn't taking care of himself. He didn't take it seriously. There's rumors
Which
that
is crazy
some of
'cause,
his
like-
muscles are like CGI'd. It's like,
It's crazy because like Vin Diesel, this is like his
Yeah.
thing. Like,
yeah, it's all he's
it-
got.
It's his passion project.
it's his family.
Yeah. But that
Mamma
that can
mia.
cause tension, you know, when you have somebody as big as Dwayne the Rock Johnson coming onto your franchise that you think you're the shit of, which you are,
Yeah.
you know,
Yep.
but you have a big personality like Dwayne. Big personalities don't clash well together.
No.
It's funny too, looking because Vin Diesel. I don't want to say he's short, but he's like 5'10", right?
Yeah, he's
He's
not
not-
he's not that tall. No, he's probably like
He's
5'9".
not- Yeah, he's not tall by any
Yeah, he's
means.
probably like my height, honestly.
He's 5'11". He's 5'11".
Oh, is he?
So he's not.
Oh,
he's not.
okay.
I wouldn't say that's short at all. But The Rock
No.
is 6'3",
It's like average.
and like the pictures they're standing next to each other, they're like the same height, and you're like, no,
You're not.
no.
No.
The Rock is a lot bigger than you. But they had it down like because this is Vin Diesel's thing. I remember reading he would make sure that they would have equal punches thrown at each other, like in the scene where they fight, and like exactly equal things to make it so neither one of them came out on top. Like, and it's what a weird kind of like thing that you can't get
Testosterone,
by.
man. Once that
Yeah.
shit, get too much of that in a room, and it's gonna cause problems. Gonna cause
Yeah.
a lot of problems.
I get like not wanting to have somebody come into your franchise and make it all about them. But like The Rock wasn't
Yeah.
going to do that, or don't write
No.
it so he's that way. You know what I mean? Like use him in a
even
different way.
Watching, like I told you guys, I decided I'm gonna catch up on the Fast and Furious franchise, and I recently watched Fast 5, and The Rock came in, he did his thing, but at no point was I thinking he was overshadowing Vin
Yeah.
Diesel. You think of Fast and the Furious, you think of Vin Diesel and Paul Walker. You don't think
Yeah.
of Dwayne The Rock Johnson. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even with his
It's-
spinoff. But you know, it's insecurities, it's testosterone, it's that shit don't mix well.
No,
No,
it doesn't.
It doesn't.
That's wild. But now they squashed it, and that seemed like they weren't going to. Like there was
They
a whole huge
squashed
thing.
it. They squashed it because I remember Vin Diesel was putting that post out where he's like trying to get Dwayne the Rock Johnson to come back and almost like gaslighting him into coming back. I don't think it's squashed. I
And
think it's like
I think
it's
But it
I
works.
think it's.
it's
I think it's on the back.
working.
I think it's done because Black Adam got fucking.
Probably he probably.
What
had
I think it is, like Ginty said, he thinks he's coming back in the next Fast and Furious. I really don't. I think he's going to do a spinoff, and I don't know,
Now,
man. I don't.
Does
think
anybody
that
know?
can work
Does
with
anybody
Vin.
know what the post credit scene is? What is it?
It was. I
Don't know.
watched it. He has like a. I watched like a clip of it. He has like some sort of mask on. I don't know the context because I didn't see the movie, so I don't know what's going on. And he takes his mask off, and it's Dwayne the Rock Johnson. But it's like a quick little end credit scene.
But still, I mean, he literally was like, "That'll never happen," and then there he is. So it's like clearly, you know, you like you said, Vin Diesel kind of gaslit him into doing it. Like, oh,
Yeah.
you know, you start something, you got to finish it, and a whole bunch of dumb shit. And then The Rock was like, "Listen,
Yeah.
don't publicly ask me to do something like that. Like that's
Yeah.
disrespectful." And then there he is showing up in the movie. So it's like,
Right, but I
okay.
almost feel like again when it comes to like their egos, I really
Mm-hmm.
feel like Dwayne the Rock Johnson talked to the studio and they're like, "Yeah, we'll do another Hobbs movie," you know.
Yeah,
and
and
of
he was
course,
like,
Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
"Well, I'm not doing anything."
Yeah, I'll come back and do that, but I don't know. And if he does show up in the last Fast and the Furious, I think it'll be super small. I really do. I don't think he's coming back as significant as he was in Fast 5. And from what I heard, he is of Fast 6. I haven't watched it yet. That's next on my list. But I don't think he's coming back in a big role. I think he's more so like, if I come back, I want to be the star. That's why they're having the spinoff. Because The Rock is, you know, the fucking Rock.
Yeah, Rock's getting a little much.
He's getting a little
I mean, I'm
much.
not-
He needs to fall off a little bit. For a little bit.
Yeah, we need to cool out. I know you want to. I know you're into your Terramana and all that shit, but
Well, I'm
just
tired
a
of
little-
seeing him play the same fucking character. It's boring.
Yeah.
I liked his
Yeah.
character in Pain and Gain. You seen Pain
Yeah.
and Gain, Michael Bay?
That's a
I wanna see him
terrible,
do
terrible.
different
Yeah.
shit.
That's a terrible movie, and not just because the movie's bad, because the movie's actually pretty good, but it's terrible what they took from the real life event and
Yes.
turned into a movie. It's kind of despicable. Like,
It's terrible, and Michael Bay will burn in hell for it.
yeah. Like, you took a murder of two innocent people by drug dealers and
And
turned
you
it into
made
somehow a
me
comedy.
feel you made me entertained thoroughly. I
the
watched that movie and I was
person-
like, yeah, I like this.
The person who was extorted they turn him into the bad guy. It's so fucked up what they did.
It's so
But
fucked.
that's another.
Whole nother video. All right,
So
we
let's
got
just
anybody else on the
cut that.
list?
No, that was it. Let's just cut it there.
Okay.
And then skip right to we can pick this up and go right to the drink of the week. You know what I mean?
Right. Or did
We
you
can
want to
pour them-
mention Jason Momoa?
Oh, that was supposed to be. Oh, yeah.
There was
That
that
was supposed to be
going on.
the whole thing. Yeah, okay. So edit that out. No, that was. Well, that also.
Also, there's some
Also-
beef going on with Jason
Because-
Momoa. Apparently, this is all rumored, nothing confirmed.
Yeah.
Again,
But
apparently he's
apparently-
mad at Jason Momoa because he feel like he was kind of stealing the spotlight from him. Which, surprise, Vin Diesel feeling, stolen from in his own franchise.
I don't believe
There's
it.
not much.
I don't believe it.
It's
I
just the
don't.
Rock 2.0 thing.
Yeah, but even like less so. Even less
Yeah.
so, because I can get on board with you feeling like Dwayne The Rock Johnson's coming on. Fucking Jason Momoa. Like,
Yeah.
he's big, but you picked him. Like, Vin Diesel is executive producer of these films. When these actors and actresses are being picked to come in, he is at the top of that. He's like, I want this person, I want that person.
Yeah.
You picked him to come back. And he's not. Jason Momoa is good, but he is no Dwayne The Rock Johnson. He's no Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
So I don't believe this story. I think it's fabricated,
Yeah.
but it definitely hit the outlets. It was all over the fucking place.
I think he saw the pop that he got from this feud with The Rock. People went and were like, I got to see this little feud thing going on. And I think it's bullshit too, which would be
Yeah,
sad
I don't
because
buy into it.
dude, people are already cum their pants about Fast and the Furious movies for some sort of reason. You don't need to make it more of a thing. Like I don't know.
No.
I want more space cars.
More speed. I want a Fiero in space.
I
I
gotta
still
catch
haven't seen
up.
that one either.
I gotta catch
I still
up.
gotta watch that.
Oh, come on. It's so funny.
I gotta catch up because
I
I
don't
fell
believe you.
off. I fell off of the Fast and the Furious movies, but something hit me last week where a bunch of them popped up on Peacock, and I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
Fuck
you just got
it,
the bug.
right? Fuck it, let's do it. So I watched the first one over. I was like, let me refresh how the first one felt. That movie sucks too, but I like it. But that movie is fucking silly as shit.
Yeah.
Come
I'm watching
on.
that movie and I'm like, this is silly. Like this is like Looney Tunes silly. Like what is happening right now? But
Yeah,
It's the
should
most.
go.
then I watched
It's the most realistic out of all of them.
Yeah.
maybe, yeah. I mean, Fast and the Furious 4 though, Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
I don't know. I might go out on a limb and say that was more realistic than the first one. Like,
What's
I
the
don't
most
know.
unrealistic thing in the first one? There's not.
I wouldn't
much.
say it's unrealistic. It's just super corny. It's
Yeah.
just super corny, and the fact that like the whole thing is about these fucking TVs that are like DVD TVs. That's like
Yeah. Doesn't age well.
No, it doesn't.
Well,
age
again,
well,
it
'cause
was
those
also-
shits were
that was
hot
the
for like a
time.
year.
But it was also grounded. Now they're fucking going to space in a Fiero.
It was
Like,
more
where did
grounded,
we-
and it felt more
where did
intense.
we-
You know, they have like that scene on the highway, and it felt like the stakes were high. You know, I didn't feel
Yeah.
like Vin Diesel was gonna show up, pick up a truck, and fucking throw it at somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or stomp the garage and make it all collapse like in was that 7 or something?
I don't even know.
With
I
Statham?
don't know. I'm
It's him and
catching up.
Statham.
I haven't
It's him
gotten
and-
that far yet.
It's him and Statham on the roof of the garage, and it
parking
already
garage, yeah.
cracked, and he's like something about the streets hit back, and he stomps on the like loose
The
part.
streets
of the,
always win.
Yeah, and it all crumbles down, and me and my friend just looked at each other like, "What are we what the fuck?
That sounds so fun, though. You know, I
it's
wonder
so
what
dumb.
It
point
was.
because I watched Fast Five and I'm like, this is ridiculous, but I'm having a lot of fun, and
Yep.
it was almost me recognizing why these films got so big. I'm watching Fast
Yeah.
Five, I'm like, this is stupid, but this is so much fun. So I can't wait to hit that point where it's like, oh. This isn't fun anymore. This is just
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when I first saw that trailer of when the car like it connects to some sort of vine or whatever and it swings like fucking Spider-Man. I think it was Fast 9. When
my
I first
God.
saw that trailer, I was like, "Oh, y'all don't care anymore. Y'all don't give a fuck." You said fuck it.
Oh man, that's just wild. Time travel, baby. Let's go.
Let's do
Let's
it.
go.
I went to
Time
space.
travel.
Let's do time travel. Transformers. Fucking
GI Joe,
Fast
Fast and
11.
Furious.
Let's do it all.
Fast 11 back
Fast
in time.
Transformer GI Joe. Yeah, Fast Joe transforming. That's what I need.
Oh, hey, look at you. You made it to the end of the video. Well, if you like what you saw, be sure to hit that like button. Also, hit that subscribe button. Should be over here, I hope. Also, check out some of the other videos we have on the channel right over here. Do it. Click the video. Click the video. Dude,